Hello everybody. So today my video is going to be about getting your entire security deposit returned when you rent a home or apartment. In a perfect world, everyone would own their own home, but for whatever reason, there are people who choose to rent. It may be because you're just not ready. Maybe you're trying to get your credit right. Maybe you move a lot and you're just not ready to settle down. But I am going to tell you a few things that can help you to get your security deposit in full returned. Okay? So, when you're going to rent a home, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you know who you're renting from. You have to be very careful because there are people who rent homes out of desperation. They just can't afford the home, or they may be in some sort of trouble. You have to be wary of those things. It only costs between $10 to $20 to check that out and to make sure that you're not renting from someone who is on the brink of foreclosure or they have a lot of financial issues, because if that person is suffering financially, it is very likely that you will have issues when it's time to move out. Okay? So, when you first decide, you found the home that you want to rent, you want to make sure that you do a walkthrough. Do a walkthrough of the home with the landlord or the property manager so that you can see inside and out and any type of maintenance issues and things that may be going on with the home. When you do that, make sure that you bring an inventory sheet. If they don't provide an inventory sheet to you, bring your own. And so you do a walkthrough and you thoroughly look for things that you could ultimately be blamed for. Okay? You want to annotate the things that you see and also ask if they're going to repair those things. If they choose not to repair those things and you're still okay with it, make sure that you annotate that. Okay? It can come back to bite you in the end. All right? So, do a walkthrough with your inventory sheet and annotate any issues that you may see. The next thing that you should do is make sure that you read your lease in its entirety. Do not just go through the motions and sign shit, okay? Read your lease, every page. Do not sign, initial anything that you do not understand or that you do not agree with. Make sure you pay attention to maintenance clauses, um, things that you're responsible for, and things that they are saying that they're not responsible for. There may be some things in your lease that are very, very unorthodox or unconventional that if you don't read it, you could find yourself being responsible for some things that you are not, that you would have never expected to be responsible for. Also, whatever state you're going to be renting in, make sure that you read the rental laws in that state so that you can understand things that you are signing, because different states have different laws in regard to leases, especially when it comes to military personnel. There are some clauses that have to be in there for you. If they're not in there, you have to let the landlord know that they need to insert those clauses or you will not sign the lease. Okay, and so now you've moved into your rental home. Now that you're in your rental home, you want to, in order to make sure you receive your security deposit in full, make sure that you report any issues that you have with the home immediately to give the landlord a chance to fix those things. If they don't fix those things, make sure that you annotate it and you keep record of text messages, emails. It is best to not do anything via phone call. Always use a customer portal, text message, or email, something that you can keep in the event that you end up having to go to court and you have to prove that you were not in the wrong. Because, like I said before, a lot of people rent homes out of desperation, and just because they can't afford to pay the mortgage, and now you're going to end up paying the consequences. All right. So once you're in the home, just make sure that you keep the home clean. Make sure that you keep the home in good repair. Understand what is normal wear and tear and what a damage is. Okay. So depending on the state that you live in, there's different definitions of normal wear and tear. For example, carpet. In some states, carpet has to be replaced every 10 years. Okay, so if you live in a state and the carpet has to be replaced every 10 years and you move there and the carpet was 12 years old, you're not responsible for that carpet. Now, I'm not telling you to be nasty, but what I'm telling you is to make sure you know the laws in the state that you're going to be renting in, because each state has a different definition in regard to normal wear and tear. But you definitely should not be paying for things that are normal wear and tear. And that right there is, if you read your lease carefully, then you will understand and you'll know, what is considered normal wear and tear. So so now you've been living there and now you're ready to move out. When it's time to move out, make sure that you do everything you did when you moved in. You do a walkthrough with your inventory sheet so that you can take note of the things that were already wrong with the house, okay? A perfect example, I'll give you a personal example. I was renting a home in Texas, and when we moved in, I did an inventory sheet, and during the walkthrough, I found a black spot on the carpet. I annotated that black spot and made and brought it to the attention and say, hey, there's a spot on the carpet here, and I wrote it down. Well, when it was time to move out and I was doing the walkthrough, the landlord pointed to that same spot and said, hey, what's that? And I said, hey, that's what's right on the inventory sheet that was there when I moved in. So that's, you have to make sure you annotate things, because if I didn't annotate that, she would have tried to blame it on me. The fact that her carpet was dirty when we moved in. So that's just a personal example. So make sure you do a walkthrough when you move in and a walkthrough when you move out. Okay? You're not responsible for things that the landlord should be taking care of. You're not responsible for acts of nature. There's a tornado and a fence is blown down. You're not responsible for erupting a new fence. The landlord is. You are responsible for letting the landlord know that a tornado blew the fence down and that you need a new fence. If they choose not to fix it, that's on them. Now, if you choose to fix it yourself, then you're not legally able to request payment from the landlord unless it was discussed in advance that they will pay you back for repairs, or if it's in the lease. So just make sure you're not spending a bunch of money doing repairs and expecting to get your money back and you end up getting screwed over in the end. But yeah, those are just a few things that you can do to ensure that you get your security deposit back in full when you move out of a rental home.